couple of things that we have to talk about because, well, one in particular is huge. I mean, it's huge. It's like it's the biggest thing to happen in baseball. I don't know. Is this bigger than Shohei Ohtani, Brad? Is this bigger than how spectacular he is?
Probably because this has been brewing for what, 30, 40 years? Something like
Yeah,
that, 30 years?
yeah, exactly. So let's get right
So,
into it. Pete Rose and Shoeless Joe Jackson, among others, have been removed from the permanently ineligible list. That is a list created, maintained, and held by Major League Baseball, specifically the Office of the Commissioner. Maintains this list of players who are ineligible to associate with, including play, but also other things, Major League Baseball. Okay? So, they have been removed. The justification we were given was that these players had lived out their sentence because they are dead.
right.
He basically said that, why are they permanently ineligible? They can't play anymore. And I'm like,
Well,
well,
and
they
it
couldn't
was, it
play
was
anymore for a long
basically,
time.
and basically it was, they can't do any more damage to the game, was the other thing that Rob Manfred said.
Yep. Yep. Which, I don't know if that's true. I just don't know if that's true. Brad, do you know if that's true? I don't know if that's true.
I don't know if that's true either. And because this is the thing. Okay, should we just get into it then? Just like straight from there? Because you look at it and you have certain guys who don't care about the Hall of Fame, right?
Oh, yeah.
Do not care. Roger Clemens has
Roger
said
Clemens. Right.
specifically, I do not care about the Hall of Fame. I made enough money to set up my family for a very long time. And that's all he cares
Yep.
about. And is that him deflecting, being like, yeah, I'm not getting in, whatever, I don't care? Uh, or is it something he genuinely cares about? Genuinely cares about? We don't know. And we probably
We don't
never
know.
will know.
Right.
But that's what he
Well,
said.
and
That's
he's
his
been
statement on
touting
it.
that line. Hang on. He's been touting that line so long, he might not know anymore that he feels differently or ever felt differently.
Right.
You don't know.
So what happens, Brig? What happens? I want to know if somebody who is a pretty good player, making pretty good money, but they're like, oh boy, I could turn this into a whole lot more because my insider knowledge in the game. And they start betting on baseball. What
Right.
have I got to lose? I've gotten
Yep.
paid. I'm going to bring in a whole bunch of money from this. I get banned for life. Or it is somebody who's really good. And they're like, I can make even more money gambling or doing whatever, right, with this money. And they say, not going to get in the Hall of Fame. Not in this lifetime. Who cares? I don't care about that.
Yep.
All I care about is the
Right.
money. Now they can go do it, get banned for life. And then if they happen to be Hall of Fame worthy, even a borderline, and they happen to get in, you know what their family can do after they die? They can capitalize on their Hall of Fame induction. Because
Yep.
Brig, I don't want to say I bet you because of what we're talking about, but I bet you Pete Rose, before he died,
Huh.
I would not be surprised if there are baseballs. So say Pete Rose does get, because now he's eligible, say he does get put into the Hall of Fame. There are going to
Right.
be baseballs that surface Pete Rose HOF. No year,
100%.
because he signed him
100%.
before he died in anticipation that someday he gets into the Hall, and now
Oh,
that
yeah.
is a major collector's item, and his family is going to get the money for those baseballs.
Yep. So let's give context to some folks that maybe don't know. Okay. If you're new to baseball or if you haven't been paying attention, if you're new, even if you're new in the last 20 years, you may or may not know about this. And if you're casual, there's some delicate balancing going on. So there is one rule that players are reminded of at the beginning of every season. It's posted in all of the clubhouses, it's at all the spring training facilities, and that is that you do not bet on baseball. Brad, will you read us the rule? Read it exactly what it is
Yeah, I got
says.
it. I got it right here. Okay, there are two rules actually with this, okay?
Yep.
So the rule is, it's Rule 21, Section D, Part 1. So Part 1 is any player, umpire, or club or league official or employee, not just players, anybody across the league, who shall bet any sum whatsoever upon any baseball game in connection with which, sorry, it's a screenshot, so it's a little bit blurry, with which the bettor has no duty to perform shall be declared ineligible for 1 year. So say Pete Rose, managing for the Reds, bets on the Giants and the Dodgers.
Mm-hmm.
MLB finds out, that's a year.
1 year.
Okay? 1 year.
Yep.
However, Part 2 of this rule, any player, umpire, or club or league official or employee who shall bet any sum whatsoever upon any baseball game in connection with which the bettor has a duty to perform shall be declared permanently ineligible. Pete Rose bets $1 on the Cincinnati Reds to win a game on a Tuesday night. That is permanently ineligible. And we know, based on an investigation, Pete Rose I'm pretty sure he said himself that he always bet on the Reds to win.
Yep.
And there's a lot that goes into it. I kind of kept my mouth shut last time because I didn't really want to get involved. But Brig, I got a lot to say about this now.
Okay. Will you please? Because I put my foot down. I think we all know how I feel.
Yeah. So this is the thing. Here's the thing with this, is that you can be like, oh, but he was only betting for his team to win. Okay.
Or when he was managing, or whatever, right?
Right, or when he was managing. Okay, great, that's not as bad as point shaving, right? That's not as bad as Shoeless Joe Jackson and the rest of the Black Sox, right? Not as 100%. Bad. But it's still bad, because look at this. What if you're Pete Rose's bookie? Okay, mm-hmm. Pete Rose goes to his bookie and says, okay, tonight I want the Reds money line. I'm going to just go back to the Giants and Dodgers. I want the Giants money line and the Dodgers run line tonight.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Next night, okay, I want the Padres run line. I want Seattle money line, and we're just going to go with that tonight. No Reds tonight, Pete? No Reds tonight.
That's all it
that
takes.
Easy. And that's also, if he happens to line up 3 bets in a row and be like, hey, shoot, I put money on us tonight. You got to go again tonight. Well, I pitched the last 3 days in a row. I don't care. I need you to go. He can manipulate the roster. He can manipulate all sorts of things about the game. And AJ Przinsky brought up a great point. He said, if we're fixing games, how is this any different than wrestling? It's not. It's not a sport anymore. This is a good question. Rickton, will Pat Hoberg be reinstated now?
Okay. If Pat Hoberg is reinstated, I will lose my mind.
I don't think he can.
Talk about a guy who has the ability
to die to serve your time, apparently.
Talk about a guy who has a duty to perform, right? Whose actions directly affect the outcome of the game. It's not complicated. It shouldn't be a question. It's very clear in the rules.
Right.
Oh, no. Why is this so... why is this so hard? This is not hard.
Good job editing yourself there, Brig. That was Thanks. You almost broke one of the show rules. That was really good.
I almost did.
But no, Brig, you said it perfectly though. This rule is everywhere in every clubhouse, from rookie ball to pro ball. I have been in rookie ball clubhouses and have seen this rule posted on the wall. Have seen it.
Yeah.
In person.
It's
it
right
is there. Everybody knows it. Everybody can see it. And it is the one thing that they review, they revisit every single year in spring training. They tell everybody, do not bet on baseball because you will get in big, big trouble.
Yeah. Okay. So, all right. Listen. One of the things we keep hearing is that MLB now has sports books inside ballparks. Right? Specifically the Reds, which is the biggest irony in the history of ironies. And it is to me it's crude and just spit in the face of this whole situation by putting a sports book in the stadium the Reds play in. Are you kidding me? Okay. So But they did it, okay? And they have continued to affiliate themselves or allow betting to get closer and closer and
Not
closer
just
to the
that,
game.
they have continued to affiliate themselves with Pete Rose. They had Pete Rose night the other night.
That's right.
He was he
Reds.
placed the first bet at the sports book. They almost think it's funny.
I know.
But this is the thing, because I hear that argument all the time. I see that argument all the time in the comment section on YouTube, and I haven't addressed it because I don't want to get into the comments and say the same thing over and over again. Here it is.
Exactly. Go ahead.
Like I said, MLB employees cannot place any bets on any part of baseball anywhere. Yes, they're bringing in that kind of money because it's legal. It is legal money now.
Yes.
So they can. However, the rule is still in place. They cannot place bets anywhere. If you're a ticket taker and you place money on a game across the country, you are not eligible to work for a year, which at that point they'll probably just fire you because you're not worth the trouble. Right?
No kidding. Yeah.
Chris Rose, I was watching baseball today, who works for John Boy. He also works for NFL Network, which means he's an NFL employee. He said, this is what he said about it. He said that NFL employees are not allowed to bet on football. They're not allowed to bet on baseball, basketball. He said when we go to Las Vegas to cover a Raiders game, to cover the draft or whatever else is going on there, he's like, I'm not even allowed to sit at a blackjack table. No gambling at all, which I think the rule should be. I think it's a good rule. It makes sense
to me. It's a good rule.
Because it's a slippery slope.
Good rule.
Brig, you want to know how I got into sports betting?
Yeah, go ahead.
I loved playing blackjack, but I lost a lot of money doing a lot of money, not $50.
Sure. To you,
because I'm not good at it. But you know what I do know? Because I don't know how to count cards. You know what I do know? I know sports.
Yeah, statistics and probabilities.
I've won a lot of money sports betting. So
yeah, you're really good at it. You're like freaky good at it.
Sometimes it bugs my wife.
Yeah.
But like, really though, somebody says I'm not winning a blackjack, I'm gonna go place a bet somewhere else. That's how it happens.
Hey man, I know.
So
listen, here's the thing. They're saying that Pete Rose. So now, in the past, people have said, well, Pete Rose should be in the Hall of Fame. And if you look at his playing career, statistically, on paper, whatever, yeah, he should be in the Hall of Fame. If all we are considering is his on-field performance, and we forget that he bet on baseball, which we cannot do. But if we were to say, nah, then yes, he obviously has a place. However, the Hall of Fame committee for years has said, no, it's not our job to decide. We don't have anything to do with it. It's not. What we're going to do is say our official position, says the Hall of Fame committee. They said their official position is that any player on Major League Baseball's permanently ineligible list will be ineligible for induction into the Hall of Fame. Which is a sidestep, okay? And it's okay that it is. I think I wouldn't want that on my shoulders. I don't want to make that call.
Right.
And I don't want to get in a fight with Bart Giamatti or then Bud Selig or whatever. Like, I don't want to be. That's bad. That's bad for everybody, right? So you say, not my problem. Okay, got it. But now we have this wet noodle of a commissioner who also didn't penalize any of the 2017 cheaters, by the way. Still hasn't happened. Let's not forget.
Or the 2018, really.
Exactly. So we don't have any punishment coming from this guy. And now he has put his decision down that if you die and you were permanently ineligible, you are now no longer permanently ineligible. So the immediate domino next in line goes to the Hall of Fame committee, whose sidestep answer is no longer acceptable. Now they are forced to make a decision. So does Pete Rose get in the Hall of Fame? Will the Hall of Fame committee decide differently? Will they side with the tradition and the momentum? Will they go with this new decision? Are they going to poll writers? Are they going to go off of gut feeling? Will they lick their finger and put it in the air on a Thursday? And is that how they are going to decide? I don't know, Brad. I don't know. I don't know how I would decide if I were in there. Well, I do know how I know exactly what I would say if I were them. But is it a committee vote? And if so, do we have dissenting opinions or what?
It's going to be one of the Culture Club votes. It is.
It would have to be.
Yeah, it's what is it? I have it written down here. It's the Classic Baseball Era Committee. In 2027 is when he's going to be eligible to be on the ballot. And so This is my thing though. Is like I still don't think he should get in because
agreed.
I've heard people talking about the Hall of Fame's morality clause, which is a thing.
It's a thing.
Kind of, right?
Yeah. It's not a hall of culture or a character. It's not a hall of character.
Right. No, it's not. But they want it to be because they're supposed to look past on the field stuff to their lifetime. But I mean, you've got Ty Cobb, you've got a few known juicers who snuck in there.
Some ne'er-do-wells.
Yeah. I mean, like Joe DiMaggio, right? Like,
yeah. or Mickey Mantle, for that matter. Like,
right. I know. Like there are some guys in there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there are some guys in there, but I don't know if anybody has ever been to, I don't want to say to the point of Pete Rose off the field. Ugh.
Okay, there's some. If we're going to take this discussion there, then this is where I must just urge people to look deeper. You just have to. Because there are some things about him and his personal life and his personal conduct.
I'm saying.
With other human beings.
Right.
Okay? That are reprehensible.
There's that, and there are PEDs involved. And Rick, I think, makes a really great point. He said the boys that were eating a complete breakfast have to be seriously considered if Rose gets in. Really, though. Rose is in, Bonds is in the next day, in my opinion. This is a watershed moment for the Hall of Fame committee.
Mm-hmm. It will legitimately change everything, and I am not okay. I'm being honest with you. I'm the first one that's going to tell you that I am deeply unsettled. I thought for sure that you could count on the sun coming up, that you would die one day, and that if you bet on baseball, you're not getting into the Hall of Fame. Like, I thought those three things for sure, no matter what, would never change.
No longer.
And now, I don't know anymore.
Yep. No more. Last thing, I want to share this comment that Rickton made about the whole Pat Hoberg thing.
Yeah.
If you watch the Mariners-Yankees series, we need his balls and strikes quality back. For reals. It went both ways, too. Like, it was bad. Wildly inconsistent the entire time.
Oh, yeah. And
Thank
look,
you for sharing that, Rickton.
Outstanding. He was an outstanding umpire behind the dish. Like, just crazy
terrible decision. And there are consequences. This is what my wife tells my son all the time. There are consequences for your actions. And this is them.
Yep.
All right.
We always tell our kids, some of them are good, some of them are bad, some of them are neutral consequences. These ones are bad.
But they all have them.